around here speak basketball.
There it is.
It's the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast.
Kyle Lowry. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Freddie Rivas, and who, sir, are you?
My professional title is producer, Matt Duncan of the podcast. Freddie, how are things going?
I'm doing great. Can you tell the folks about your non-professional title, snowblower extraordinaire?
That's true. I do have my own snowblower that my wife got me. And I'm in a process right now where the first 2 hours of using it, I have to change the oil. So every time we go out, I'm like, how long was that? Keep a little chart that says, how much time I've used on it. I'm really excited to change the oil in the middle of winter, as it's like minus 16 right now.
So happy for you. So happy
Thank
for
you.
the snowblower and the oil and the chart. And I hope our Patreon members can see that chart.
Yeah, maybe that is some exclusive Patreon content. Well, I'll post the snowblower chart on there.
Yeah, I think people will go buck wild for that probably.
Freddie, I just got to say, the folks at home, we do have a YouTube that you can watch this, but do you still have a Christmas tree up in the background there?
That's right. I do still have a Christmas tree. It's blue.
Yeah.
It's
your in-laws? Is that the tree from Fandango Farms?
Fandango Farms. I cut it down right near to the Rose Motel, featured on Schitt's Creek.
That's true.
And it's still fresh, still smells good, and the needles are not falling, so we're keeping it.
You know what? I too got a tree from the Fandango farm, and I have to say, it was actually ended up being one of the best trees we've ever had. It very few needles on the ground, and my wife even left it up way longer than she usually does. Like we had it up into the new year here, folks.
Scaramouche.
Not quite like you're going.
Can you hear the Fandango? Matt, let's we got to jump in the ball because we are a basketball podcast. We're
true.
a Raptors podcast.
Yes,
we're hardcore Raptors fans.
Hardcore.
And we got two amazing guests today. But if people want to find us online, share us, all that good stuff, how do they do that, Matt?
Well, we are a part of a network called the Sonar Network, Sonar. And if you go to thesonarnetwork.com, you can listen to us there. You can also listen to a bunch of other podcasts there. They keep adding some arsenal, as they say. And you can also go to dunkspodcast.com. You can listen there. That's our website, the one that looks like a kid's skateboard, decals here, decals there. That's how we roll. But all those decals are our links, okay? Because, the podcatchers and our Patreon, which we would love if you could support, and as well, our social media and our YouTube, we're putting a lot more into the YouTube. We're trying to get those subscriptions up on YouTube as well, so you can listen there. There's so many places you can listen. We've got these link trees on our Instagram and our Twitter. It just makes it so easy to pick your poison. And as I said last time, we do have a link now up for Shopify. You want to buy a Confederacy of Dunks toque, $20, you're going to have an anti-itch toque for the rest of winter. We still got lots of time left, and it is minus 16 where I am right now. Okay, so click that link, get the hat. Freddie's going to mail it to you. Snail mail extraordinaire. Canada Post, let's keep it going.
Matt, you're a goddamn gem. I'm lucky to have you. You're an audio master. I think we're basically ready to get this pod going. But before we do, I will say, email your city councilors, Black Lives Matter, and defund the police. And
let's keep
Maddie,
that going.
You gotta keep pressing on. But let's jump into some ball talk. Maddie, if you feel like we're good to go, please, good sir, just give me those sweet, sweet words. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's get rolling here with guest number one. It's actually going to be his first time on the podcast. I've been on his podcast, Below the Hardwood, with Ryan Henry and Alan Shane Lewis, who you should be familiar with if you listen to this pod. We actually did a wicked episode where we picked all-time Blazers, and I got schooled pretty heavily. I think I had the worst team. But it was tight because you had to know who played for the Blazers when, like Carmelo Anthony counts. Anyhow, I still have some regrets about that draft. But yeah, he's a hardcore basketball fan. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Dexter Arriola. You get your own music too.
Oh, I love it. I don't get this on the other show, man. Like,
yeah, man, that's it. You're done with the other show now.
Happy to be here, guys. Like, first time, you're gonna pop my cherry. I know we talked about it before, but I got to bring it up. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Man, happy to have you. Yeah, and I'll give you a chance to plug the pod at the end of the episode for sure too. But let's get rolling because there's just so much Raptors stuff to talk to and NBA stuff. So let's bring on guest number two. I think I'm going to say this right for the first time, hopefully. But he was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So maybe I'm wrong. I think I've messed this up like
Conan. Wasn't it Conan?
No, I just read his Twitter, okay? So unless he like is totally like, hey, I'm going to mess with Freddie like on another level, like Fortnite style, then fair enough. But anyways, Graham K is absolutely hilarious. He's an amazing stand-up. He's got a Crave special. He's incredible. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Graham K.
Yeah. Why does my music suck? What the hell is that? I get some like badass music. I get some like. I'm like a French Canadian clown. Like I'm going to just be a clown.
Oh my god! I was gonna say Dexter's is like badass, and yours is French man falling downstairs.
Yeah. And it's just. Anyway, I don't mean to make fun of our French Canadian friends. I'm first just from Ottawa, so.
Yeah, you know Hull and such, so you don't want to go there.
I can be xenophobic. That's cool, right?
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah. I went skiing on the weekends in Quebec, so it's chill.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyway, you botched the music. It was insulting, and I'm hurt. And
this isn't your first time hearing it, Graham.
I know. Why do I have this? It's like some of my themes. This is what it hurts me because I know that's what you think of me. And what did I do? What do I got to do? You know?
Yeah, Matt. It's like when he plays that music, he's picturing pieing you in the face.
Or I'm just some stupid loser who like I'm here for everyone's amusement. I like to rock out. You know, I've had sex. You know, women respect me.
Yeah, you hear that? You hear that?
You hear that?
French Canada.
I'll think about it.
Respect this man.
And you got my credit wrong. It's not. Again, you got it wrong. It's not Colbert. It was the Late Tonight Show with Craig Ferguson, featuring Colbert. So, you know.
Wow. Well, I mean, cheers to Craig Ferguson. Cheers to Colbert.
I'm kidding. I wasn't on Craig Ferguson. I was on Colbert. It was just a bad joke. Didn't go over well.
Thank you. Because actually it was like going to follow up because I clicked back to your Twitter and I'm like, okay, now I'm really tripping out.
Yeah, I know.
But you know what? Okay, let's get rolling here on some Raptor stuff. We had some good banter. Maddie, if you got a beautiful Raptor sting for me, please, good sir, give it to me.
Raptors fans.
I don't even know why I still do that. Let's go to you. Let's go to you first, Dexter. It's your first time on the pod. We'll start off with the good stuff, kinda. We reached another Kylestone. Kyle Lowry, already far and away the best franchise player of all time for the Raptors. He leads. He passed Jose in assists. I think maybe earlier this season or late last season. He just got into the 10,000 points as a Raptor club. I think he is within range of Bosch this season and would have to continue being a Raptor to pass DeRozan. That's just off the top of my head. But I thought his interview was really interesting because a lot of the regular Kyle stuff of I'm not happy when I lose, that's it, don't talk to me, I'm a competitor, was kind of like he had to put that aside to accept all of the praise he was getting from reporters. And he opened up about some stuff. One thing I thought was kind of interesting was he mentioned that Dwayne Casey wouldn't let him shoot the pull-up three, which I think has really helped his game age. So I think there's some resentment there, and clearly he still likes Nurse, which is a good sign. And he mentioned that he likes the idea of trying to get into the playoffs and being a hunter, as opposed to being like a hunted team. And he's enjoying watching Fred, OG, Pascal, and Norm, like his guys, develop. So he said that specifically, which I found kind of interesting. So yeah, kind of Dexter, with all that aside, with all that said, is that what this season is about? Is it a development year? Like, you know, not necessarily what it's about for you, but for regular fans listening, what is this season about? Considering we're not a contender.
So for me, it could be one of two things. It could be a farewell tour for Lowry. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But I think for me, with the Raptors, they're kind of on this 5-year roller coaster. So let's start from the beginning. So 2000 to, let's say 96 to whatever, 2005. Let's bump them all together. They had great years. You go to 2005, 2010, not so good. They're getting swept. 2010 to 2015, they're rebuilding. And then 2015, 2020, they win the championship, right? So going by that basis, the 5-year plan right now, I think we're rebuilding. I think we're at that stage right now. I think being a shortened season and being in Tampa really changed everything. And I think we have to just take a step back. I don't know if we signed Masai yet. I don't think so. But once we sign him, I think he'll have a plan. And I think there's a rebuilding season. And you got to take the good with the bad. And that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely like, and I consider myself a major optimist, but also, you know, I'm a hardcore basketball fan, and I recognize like a club that isn't really in contention for sure. Yeah, Graham, what do you like? Where does that Kyle stuff sit with you? Like, what do you think about? Like, what is this season for you as a Raptors fan?
I think this is sort of a it's a celebration of his career with Toronto. But I would not be upset. I know we want to keep him, and it'd be great to keep him. I just don't think it makes sense at this point. I think that when we won, I think 5 out of 6, and now we've lost 2 in a row. I think we've sort of we're 5-5 in the past 10 games. I think that's sort of what we're going to be, what this iteration of the team is. I know that we could, you know, we're only 4 games back from first or something insane like that. But that doesn't matter. We're not going to contend. We'll be out in the first round probably with whoever we play. And I know that it's more fun to have that than not, but I just feel like this is the year. We're playing in Tampa. It's time to trade him, get something back maybe. I love the guy. He's the greatest Toronto Raptor ever. 10,000 points, amazing. I appreciate him. I just think that I know it sucks to let him go, but I think that if we could get something back, it would help the franchise and tear the Band-Aid off because he's 34. I
always tell people he's my age, height, and weight. So if you think sports are easy, watch me do anything.
Yeah.
Get in the league, Freddie.
Yeah. He's an undersized point guard who's small, and I'm not the first to say this. Bill Simmons says this all the time, but it's like those typically don't age well. And I know that he's a freak of nature, and
I mean, he's already aged well.
yes, 100%.
Considering there's only like 5 34-year-olds in the league.
And he's playing sick right now. He's still got it. He's still awesome. And this is, this is a great opportunity to sell high, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like my line with the Kyle trade stuff is, just I get to brass tacks really quick, which is you got to get $5 million within 33, which is his contract. I don't want any bad salary back, period. So I'm loath to trade Kyle for all the emotional reasons, but like for the practical reasons, I don't want like a Chandler. I don't know who we'd have to take back for him.
Yeah.
Like if they're good players and that they can factor into our future, sure. If not, I'd rather 33 mil come off the books than less than that. You know what I mean? So, and my thing also is you work with him on a trade. It's not like you're not like, sorry, Kyle, you got to go. It's like, dude, how you feeling? What's going on?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And then it goes to which contenders have $33 million in dead contract. It's not the Clippers, Lakers. The Heat are the one, I think, that could maneuver it.
Yeah.
Other teams, it's kind of like, yes. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of where I am on that. But I think that will develop too. And I also feel like it's just tough for fans to see our stoic, amazing leader
in a Heat uniform. When you said that, I was like, I take it back. I don't want to see that guy in a Heat.
Yeah, you know what? Like if it was the Heat, if it was the Heat of the Celtics, like go to hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like also, I was a big fan of DeMar DeRozan, right? And that was a situation where I remember people. I've said this so many times on the pod, but I remember people being like, "Freddie, you must be so upset about DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard." Like, and I was like, I love DeRozan, but I'm not a madman. Like Kawhi, like, DeRozan, it was never, that for me, it was like, would I be upset if we traded Kyle for Steph? No.
Yeah.
I would not. I would also wouldn't be upset if we, traded Pascal for like Giannis. Like, so, but, actually,
you think we could make those two trades?
Honestly, with Masai, maybe. Well, let's go to Pascal. And I think, you've earned a little bit of authority to speak on Pascal here because, in our shared online community, you were the one who were kind of like, hey, I'm not so sure this guy's as good as Tatum. And everyone kind of like jumped all over you.
Yeah. A year ago I said that, and I was like, it's shaping up that we're going to face them in the playoffs, and I don't feel good. We're not going to have the best player. And I just thought that everyone thought that. But I have an advantage of living in America. I'm from Ottawa, I'm from Canada, but I live in America now. I'm a really successful comedian in America.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, maybe you probably didn't hear about it in Canada, but whatever. Anyway, I'm not in the media bubble. There's like I see all my friends online, and they're like Pascal, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like here, it's sort of a more sober interpretation of what he is or where he's at, and so I just thought it was obvious that he wasn't going to be the best player, and I got roasted on this message board on like this Facebook page, and then I don't know. Sure enough, I'm smart. Everyone's dumb. So.
Hey man, I've been there. I was 2 years ahead of Stevens being an overrated coach, and I rocked that so hard.
Did.
I fought for that really hard for a long time, and then it was kind of like I think there was like a settling down. It was like, yo, Freddie was onto something, and I think it was fair that people were a little bit blinded with Pascal, as a roving kind of extra guy next to Kawhi, without the defensive focus. It was like he was amazing, and then when the season started, that awesome. Massive eruption. I think before the league. Got the scouting report on him. He hurt his groin. COVID happened. Yeah. And he hasn't really recovered. Like he's averaging, I just looked at his stats. So a little bit more assists, a little bit more rebounds. Everything else is way down. Like the shooting percentages are way down. He is shaping up to be a max player that isn't an all-star. So that is like even if you're a hardcore Pascal fan, you can't square those two things. You can't have a max player that's not an all-star. That's terrible. Yeah. So I guess I'm asking you, like, you You got some Pascal foresight, or at least with his struggles. Where do you see his regression going? Like, is he going to average 1 point a game at some point? Or is it like, you know what I'm saying? Like where's it going to go from here?
I don't think he'll go any lower. I think he's a good player. I think he's going to get better. I think that like he's not consistent, but he has the ability. Like remember there was like a 5-game stretch this season where he was awesome again.
Yeah, I mean it's sad to say it was only 5 games. So
yeah, but he's got it in him. It's the hardest thing in the league is to do it consistently. Get 20 points every game is so hard. It's like, I really think he's going to settle at like 17, 18 points a game, 8 rebounds. But his assists are up. That's something that he's added this year. He's a better creator. His assists are, he's getting like sometimes he gets like 5, 6 a game. I think that's something. I don't think it's going to get much lower. I'm a fan. I think he's really good. He's just not a number 1, and that's it.
I think he has to prove the other way at this point, because you can say he's good on defense. He is a good defender.
Yeah.
And I think, again, I don't want to give him a bunch of excuses. And Dexter, I'll go to you. I do think having a competent center takes a lot of the defensive pressure off him and takes away a lot of those kind of like silly fouls.
Yeah.
But also, it is what it is. Like he's made the big bucks now, so you can't put up 15 points and be like, oh, you're kind of good on defense. It's
can
like,
I say something quickly?
Sorry, dude.
It is bizarre. Like how much Toronto, I guess, because we've watched him grow, all the fans feel like he's their son, and they won't criticize him. It's like we gave him this colossal contract. He's a man now. He's a man.
Hey,
he deserves to be criticized as much as anybody else, and he's not performing up to that level. So
totally. And last year, if you want to go back to that Boston series, he was still getting paid 1.9. His extension hadn't kicked in.
Right.
OG, his extension only kicks in next year. So everything we're getting from OG is free money.
Right.
But at a certain point, it's like not free money anymore. You know who knows that? Fred VanVleet. He got his contract and he's like, I'm showing up. People doubted me. Joke's on them. So Dexter, I feel like we've gone on for a bit, but like,
sorry, Dexter.
No, I needed to give Graham the floor a little bit here because you see something, you call it out, and people are like, "You're wrong," and you're not. That's hard.
He's not wrong.
He's not.
I'm fully on the fan base of trade Pascal Siakam. I'm on that.
Wow.
Like you guys said, he is what he is. I think he's an 18-8 guy. I think he's somewhere between Jeremy Grant and a Tobias Harris. I think that's who he is. I think when he's put to the forefront, when he's that first main guy, if you look at Tobias Harris and Jeremy Grant, they're not winning when they score 20, when they score 26. Like Detroit, he's in the forefront now. They're not winning. Tobias Harris, he has 2 monsters with him. But if he were to be in the forefront, like we saw him in Orlando, he wasn't doing anything. So I feel like that's where Pascal lies. And
Pascal
say we trade him.
Score as much as Jeremy Grant now that he's got the keys to the Cadillac. Exactly,
right? So, and he has Dwayne Casey, I guess. I don't know where that goes, but you could put that wherever you want. But I just want to trade Pascal, and here are my trade thoughts.
Okay, that was my follow-up.
I love
so
it.
Who can we get for him?
So I hate trading to the East to make someone better. So I'll never do that. So let's trade to the West. So I have a couple trades, and it kind of makes sense money-wise. So I'm going to go to Sacramento. They really
You
don't
always
like
got to go to
Bagley.
Sacramento. Sorry.
They don't like Marvin Bagley. He's 21 years old, super young. You could throw in maybe a Buddy Hield if someone else wants to go with him. But yeah, I really like that dynamic. I think Bagley and Buddy are in a bad system, and just the culture. These teams have bad cultures. So coming to the Raptors, I think they'll get a better culture and they'll play way better. My second team is the Timberwolves, and I'm going with Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think he's a great player. It's what we need. We need a big man.
Okay, that's juicy.
I think the Wolves have a bad culture ever since Garnett. So if we bring them here to a better culture, I think blocks, rebounds, what do we need?
Do you think
Scoring,
they would make that
someone
trade,
in
though?
the post? I think so. I think they want to move from him. He hasn't been playing. I know it's the COVID stuff, but he's just not performing. Like, he's putting up numbers, but he's not performing to what they want. And bringing in D'Angelo Russell, like, that didn't really do anything to his game, right? So those are my middle name is Jake, and those are my hot takes.
Hey,
hot take Jake.
No, I like it. And I don't think those are like those like wild, like out to lunch trades. I think Towns is objectively better than Siakam, so we'd have to sweeten the hell out of that deal, like maybe Siakam Norm picks and such. But Sacramento for me is always like, and the reason I liked your trades is because like you're thinking like Masai, which is Masai is like, he like combs the room and he looks for the dumbest person and then he goes to talks to them. And if you look at all of our trades, he never, and that's why I'm not married to anyone from the sake of like, I want to get better. I went through the Kawhi experience. We had to, Masai had to do his Thanos like Soul Stone moment where he dropped DeMar and kept Kyle. But like, I think that's the reality of this league. So like that's just what it is. So, but with that said, with Pascal playing poorly, I just don't see us being able to trade him in any way. Like, I think our best trade asset right now is Norm Powell, who has played some starter minutes. He's on a good contract. He's averaging like 19, 20 points a game as a starter. I think
he's our only creator, by the way.
Yeah, totally. And
dribble. So if he's gone, it's just going to be a bunch of pass, contested three by Freddie.
Totally. That's why you throw him into the trade mix and probably get back a Buddy Hield. I think Buddy Hield would fit perfect here, and Buddy Hield would be awesome. Buddy Hield over there.
Also, really I like Bagley, and I do believe in the like good system, bad system thing. Not to the point of being like, it's going to work out for Alex Len. But I do think, you bring in like a John Collins or like, well, actually, I guess Atlanta's doing okay. But I do think there is some system stuff. And like, the Raptors, Jazz, Heat, Pacers, there's certain small markets that are like on the competent side of things. And then there's other small markets, which are just like basically a kind of like a bonfire. But Dexter, let's stick with you. And my last Raptors question is, well, I guess we're kind of dancing around it, but it's the quarter season mark. I just pulled some stats from NBA.com. So the Raptors are 7-11, 11th in the East, 14th on offense, 15th on defense, and we are 14th overall in net rating. And I guess it's kind of similar to the Kyle Lowry question. But just, how can fans make sense of like having an average team? Like a team that's not going to give you something reliable every night.
You just got to accept it. I think Raptors fans were spoiled with the championship, and we made it to the second round of last year, and now they're expecting the same thing. We expect way too much from this team, and they just don't have the pieces. Like, they don't even have the look. Like, they look defeated for some reason, and we just have to accept it for what it is. Wait till Masai does something, gets his hands on something, and believe in Masai. Just trust in Masai. But Raptors fans are way too spoiled, so spoiled, and that's coming from a Laker fan. So
you're also a Laker fan?
I bleed purple and gold. I bleed it.
Oh my
R.I.P.
God.
Kobe.
I should have vetted you before the pod. Just kidding. But what was I going to? Oh yeah, just kind of to your spoiled thing. I think there is like a patience element to this because, if you were a Raptors fan before our championship run, you watched Siakam start over Jared Sullinger, then go to the D League, then come back and be part of the bench mob. Then, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just like, I think you understand that incremental growth and like where it can lead to. You saw it with Fred as well. But Yeah, a lot of
think
silver
sorry.
linings this year.
Sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt you. I
No.
think the patient ones are the people who have been fans since like the 2000s, where we had the Joey Grahams, the Charlie Villanueva. Those people are the patient ones. These other people, these newer fans, they want to see us in playoffs every single year.
Araujo.
They want
Yeah,
Rafael
Rafael-
Araujo,
if
number
you can
9
say
pick.
that name,
We should have picked Iguodala. That's
I
where
don't know.
we missed out.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, debatable.
Those are the more patient people.
Yeah.
When you move
I-
into
that's
the
why I say-
2015 people,
That's why
Sorry,
I say
go
we're
ahead,
not
Ben.
spoiled. We're not spoiled. We earned this. We sat through like just having no hope for my whole life.
Yeah.
Like them telling me that Rafa Araujo was a good pick, and as a guy who knows nothing, I knew it was the worst idea in the world. And
Yeah.
it's like we deserve a championship. We got one. Last season was icing on the cake. They ran it back. Good for them. It was so much fun. I had as much fun or more fun watching that last season than the championship season.
Oh man, it was
so
incredible
rad.
last year.
It was incredible. The party's over. We're playing in a hockey arena in Florida. It's pack it up. Time to let's start fresh. You know what I mean?
Well, when you say it like that,
Yeah.
we're playing in a hockey arena in Florida. Oh my God.
They're at a Best Western. They're getting
Oh my
continental
God.
breakfast. They can't win.
Continental.
Yeah, I mean,
They're arguing over the waffle machine. This is not a winning recipe.
you know what? I think this is a nice way to like summarize this, because us experienced Raptors fans can kind of tell you we've been through this before, and every Utah and every Stanley and every Matt Thomas is not necessarily special. So have some patience, chill out. I think when you're looking for good things, you want I should say this to myself, because I probably criticize Nurse too much with the lack of talent and kind of like fits he has on this team.
Yeah.
But I also think, Nurse has been a little bit exposed too. It's like, it's harder to have a bad team than to have a team
Yeah.
with Kawhi and Pascal and OG and, Marc Gasol, et cetera. But, yeah, let's jump over to some NBA stuff. Maddie, good sir, if you have delicious Adam Silver foghorn sounds, please fire it up for me.
National Basketball Association.
Pew. Oh wait, I messed up.
can I just add something? Graham
Sure.
really got screwed with the music. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, his was like.
Thank you.
All I can think of is French Canadian and pies, and I could just picture like wasn't there someone who pied our prime ministers, and the pies were called Pie Minister? Sorry.
It's called Android Sock Hop. Okay.
Wow. That sounds like
If our
that
fans
sounds like
want to download it as a ringtone for Graham fans or whatever.
Matt. That sounds like darknet porn, and I want nothing with it. Okay.
Yeah.
You keep your demented audio titles out of here. Okay.
Yeah. It's just a dildo and a fleshlight having sex.
I thought we weren't gonna get horny on this one.
I know, we lied. You know what? We said that before, but we lied. Let's get a little bit horny for the Utah Jazz, shall we? Graham.
Jazz.
My question is, if a tree falls down in Salt Lake City, does anybody care? The Jazz are on a giant winning streak and have the best record in the NBA. I mean, sure, doubt them in the playoffs, but this is all we got right now. They're smoking teams. Gobert looks amazing. Conley looks pretty good. I don't know. But you got anything on the Jazz? Do you care?
Me?
Yes.
Hell yeah. I think
Sorry.
Rudy Gobert is arguably their best player. I have a new nickname for him, Patient Zero, and he's doing great. Like, yeah, everyone's doing. I care. 10 wins in a row. You can't argue with that.
Kind of cool, right?
And it's like, look, it's like how the Raptors last year, no one really cared. They were good. What the hell? What's going on over there? And then we won like 16 in a row, and people had to notice. And then we had respect from that point on.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think they had respect last year going into the playoffs, and people are starting to notice. It's just they just need to win in the playoffs. And then
that was my follow up to you, was like I guess they're a prove it in the playoffs team, right? Because the Nuggets, they did win 2 rounds, and what they did against the Jazz and then the Clippers is legit, and the Lakers won, right? So you got the Jazz and the Clippers are maybe the Clippers have more pressure, but they seem to be in that territory of kind of like, cool, you can be good in the regular season, just like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Dexter, where are you at with Jazz? With the Jazz, do you care?
I like their team. They've been together a while. I think the cohesiveness is really good. They have great, solid players, like all-around players. So you have Jingles, who shoots the 3 really well. You got Royce O'Neal, who's coming out of nowhere. And my guy, I met him at a Filipino restaurant. His name is Jordan Clarkson. He played with Kobe. He played with LeBron. He will be the 6th man. And shout out to Filipinos because,
is he Filipino?
I'm there. And he's going to be the 6th man. Like, everyone's sleeping on this guy. And he has played with Kobe. He has played with LeBron. He knows.
But wait, is Clarkson Filipino, or he's down with
he's
food?
Filipino. He's half
Filipino.
Filipino.
Right on. Cool.
He played for Team Philippines.
Oh, awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's got like
a little fun
17
fact for you
points a
guys.
game or something this season.
What's that?
He's got like 17 points a game this season.
Yeah, he's going crazy. Like, you could arguably say Chris Boucher is the 6th man, but I really think Jordan Clarkson is stepping up to that. And he's playing behind Spider Mitchell, right? So I guess he doesn't get enough screen time, and people don't really know about him. He's not a household name, but they have solid players. And Mike Conley, like you said, is getting back into form.
Yeah, totally. And Dexter, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that if I'm not mistaken, the Philippines are one of the places that basketball is the national sport.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. That's why I'm a Kobe fan. I'm a Laker fan. Like, we love Kobe. I don't know why. Maybe his name or something. We also love Derrick Rose for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think maybe because he looks Filipino or something, but we love this guy. There's some more people, like Nate Robinson used to play for the Philippines. Andre Bloch, if you guys remember him.
I remember that. Andre Bloch got in a huge fight.
Yeah, exactly.
That was. If you want to see a crazy basketball fight, watch that. Andre Bloch on the Philippines brawl, and there's people like jumping and karate kicking each other in the face. I'm not even kidding.
There's a couple more players coming up. There's one named Jalen Green. He's half Filipino. Watch out for him. And a guy named Kai Soto, 7 foot. They're all on the G League Ignite, and they're playing amazing.
Cool.
Nice.
I know I turned this Jazz into Philippines, but hey.
Hey, man. No. We needed to find, more. That's what this question was all about. Like, the spirit was like, it's the Jazz, but we need a bit more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to make our own Jazz. All right, sorry. Let's go back to you, Graham, and just kind of some LBJ. I'm trying to think about how to frame this question, because I don't want it to be like, is he the GOAT? I want to see where you're at as far as like, how do you currently frame that conversation? For me, it's a little bit like, I have some opinions, but I'll be more comfortable when LeBron is finished his career. Like, I think the comparisons will be just easy to line up. But how do you frame it? Do you
I've always thought that when he won the championship with Cleveland, we should always leave the door open that he could be the GOAT. I thought that was like such an impressive thing, that the coming down from 3-1 and winning. And I know he's lost championships, and Jordan never. It's so funny. Obviously I have no idea. I'm a guy talking to you in my kitchen right now over the internet.
Same.
He's just it's like, I'm 39 years old. I got a Rodman jersey on. Like, obviously that's my era. You know what I mean? And it's like, Jordan was magic. there was a magic to him that LeBron will never have, but we're not adapting and learning. LeBron James has been so good for so long, it's undeniable. Like he made it to the finals 8 years in a row or something crazy. Like that's absurd. He's still good. Now, yeah, he's going to Tom Brady's house and they're sacrificing children and eating their blood, drinking it, rubbing it on their knees, and
rubbing it on their knees.
That's what they do. That's a fact. And and so it's incredible what he's doing. He should. What is a travesty is he doesn't have more MVPs. It's complete bullshit. I hate that people think the MVP is the most valuable player. I don't care about that in 50 years. I want to know who the best player was at playing basketball in 2019, 50 years in the future. Like he should have won so many more times. He should probably win this year. He's putting it all together. He's not cruising around. He's going nuts. He should win this year. Greek Freak can't shoot, and they gave it to him last year. The guy people play D against the Greek Freak like they play D against me, and that should insult him.
Yeah, well,
back up and wait for him to, because he can't shoot.
I think it's kind of a fun irony, like LeBron's in right now. It's like he's existed long enough to have the narrative come back. And for a guy like Giannis, it's like his stats are basically as good as they were last year. You know, if the Bucks end up rolling through the season, I'm sure he'll be a candidate. But people are frustrated because people are like, "We've seen you lose."
They're not scared of him. They're not scared. People are scared of LeBron.
Exactly. And then also narratively, right? It's like, I think you look at Brooklyn, and if Durant is better than LeBron, it won't matter because there's two ridiculous players versus one in Davis. So I think, it's kind of fascinating. Like I used to frame this conversation, and Dexter, I'll go to you in a sec, but like I used to kind of frame it as, people always come at me with the like six finals MVPs. So I would immediately say, do you count second and third place finishes? Because like Jordan played 13 seasons. So like, let's talk about the other, 7 seasons.
Right.
Because if you talk about those with LeBron, they're really good. They're much better those seasons than LeBron's or than Jordan. So that's like an interesting thing.
And it's the second best player was like the worst players in the world. Like they're like, let's get the All-Star team from 7 years ago. And when he playing 400-pound Shaq.
Totally. And like, yeah, I mean, like, that's like, I think if you really did watch Jordan, then that means you really did watch Pippen. And if you can understand how good he was, then you have to really look at like, oh, that's like Anthony Davis's best season. So that was like last year. And that was like Wade's best season. Bosch isn't even like messing with Pippen. So, and then Rodman, forget about that. So there's that. And then I used to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to separate them. Like Jabbar, way back. Jordan is like, kind of like that middle, like TV time. And then LeBron's like the Twitter era. But I think LeBron, he's really pushing that for me. Like he just keeps kind of like doing these amazing things, which are like, are we verging on disrespectful to not be like LeBron's the GOAT? So I guess, with all that said, Dexter, how do you frame this? I hope we didn't take all the points away.
Nope. Hot take Jake's coming out. You guys ready for it?
I love it.
LeBron is the second best Laker ever. Second best player ever, next to Kobe Bryant. Kobe, pound for pound, the best player I've ever seen in my life. LeBron James has won 2 shortened season championships. I'm throwing that out there. He's played with a multitude of Hall of Famers. Kobe made Pau Gasol a Hall of Famer. No. He dragged Shaq to the championship. So I'm saying Kobe. LeBron is second best, but he did win. And if he wins another, it's 3 shortened season championships. And I don't count those. Asterisk.
Oh my God. So wait a second. You're for me, you're verging in like hater territory because, okay, my like parsing through it, I have Kobe at like 10th or 11th overall, like all time. So I honestly feel like he doesn't really compare to like Elijah, let alone like Duncan or.
If Michael Jordan is the best, Kobe was the remix.
I
The
do
remix is
agree.
always better. Pound for pound, Kobe is the best.
Fair enough. I think we'll have to agree to disagree here because, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what the Rushmore is, but, Kobe's not on mine. I do think Kobe is a very, like, special all-time player. But
I
you know
think
what?
Kobe has become underrated.
In some ways, I think so. Like
Allen Iverson at one point, they were like, "Who's the greatest like 3 players of all time? Is it?" And they weren't mentioning Kobe, and Allen Iverson was just like, "What the hell are you talking about? Do people forget how good Kobe is? He was so awesome." Like, this is before Kobe died, and Allen Iverson was like angry.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know why we forget. He left us with 60 points. That was his actual last game.
Yeah.
He left us with 60 points.
But he also
that's his legacy. He scored 81 on the Raptors. Like, he had to score all those points for his team to win.
I mean, I don't want to trash Kobe, but he's also got some, he's missed more shots than anybody, which is a cool accomplishment. He's been on some like bad teams. He also kind of tanked the Lakers on his way out.
I mean, LeBron could have carried some of those like Jordan Clarkson teams to the playoffs, and they were brutal. I think like Laker fans. I don't know how many of you guys listening also know hockey, but Laker fans are very similar to Leaf fans. It's just a lot of like very myopic view of everything. It's like yeah, it's like
you got the buzzer going. Yeah, like you know what?
That's like
the Lakers win. That's the thing.
The Lakers do win, which is different than the Leafs. I always feel like the Leafs are like my sports comparison for them is like every World Cup. We have people from England are like, England's going to be sick.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, they're going to get pumped in the quarterfinal.
No, they're full of English people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, that's not where the best soccer players come from.
No, the sun comes out and they get all burnt and have to leave.
No, JK, Wayne Rooney's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. But I don't know why. I don't know if this weird soccer slander is coming out.
Yeah.
I actually don't. I don't hate England either.
I like England. I root for them.
Yeah.
We're crossing sports. Shout out to the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Shout out to the Blue Jays. But let's finish this off with some quickish questions. What do you guys say? You want to bang off some quickish questions?
I'll
Bang
bang
me off.
anything. Let's go.
Yeah. I know. I was like, I don't know what, like, I always like ask people if they're okay. And they're like, I'm on the pod.
Yeah.
Anyways, Maddie, good sir, please give me your best quickish questions. Sting.
Quickish question.
Patata. Okay, this is quickish questions. I'm gonna read these questions as clearly as possible. I'm likely gonna stutter, slur, misread a comma, maybe have a stroke. That's okay. You have to answer as quickly as humanly possible. You can't phone a friend. You can't delay. Matt, you can't do any like of your like Home Alone tricks, you know what I mean? Like make sure, wet bandits. Well, I don't know where I'm going with that riff. But let's do this. Let's go Dexter, Graham, Matt. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Sir.
All right. Dexter. By the time Kyle Lowry retires, blank will be the all-time leading Raptor scorer.
DeMar DeRozan. I think it's way too many points, and Kyle Lowry goes somewhere else.
Fair. Graham, which one player on the Raptors will take the baton from Kyle eventually and be our franchise guy, our franchise face for years and years to come? Only pick one. Utah? Okay. Hey, you know what? Let's do it.
I didn't even say his name right. But I apologize. That's a really tough one. It's such a flux. I guess Fred. Fred would be my answer.
Fred's a pretty good one. Matt,
Yes.
rank each Van Vliet commercial cameo from best to worst. 1, Jif peanut butter and Smuckers with Pascal.
Right.
2, Osmos with Norm. 3, Axe skateboards and Fresh Roses with OG.
Is first the best?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go with the PB&J one first, because I'm still mystified that became such a thing where everyone's eating PB&J in the NBA. I'm going to give Osmo second because it's delish. And the third one was what was the third one?
The third one was the new one with OG skateboard. It's an Axe body spray one. Skateboards
Haven't
and
seen
Fresh
it.
Roses.
That's why it's third.
Okay, you know what? I had a feeling your rankings were gonna have something to do with what you've seen. Dexter, how good are the Toronto Raptors?
Well, the record's 7-11. I feel like half the league is 7-11, so they're in the middle of the league,
Yeah.
right where they should be, I think.
Graham, which Raptors jersey, design and player should I buy?
What was the design?
Yeah, this person's just like, what should I buy?
You should buy a Quincy AC.
Damn.
Quincy AC camo?
Camo. Just the worst jersey.
If someone has
man,
that, even Quincy AC, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, he's like, can you mail me one?
If I saw somebody at a game with a Quincy AC camo jersey, I would go talk to them and be like, you're hilarious. Can I buy you a beer?
Just give him $20 and be like,
that's so. I want to buy that for my friend. I want to buy that for Dylan Gott. We would appreciate that.
You know what?
AC.
Yeah, people know Dylan on this pod, so maybe we'll get a crowdfunding thing for Dylan needs that jersey. So we'll work on that. Maybe that's a project for the pod. Okay, Matt.
Yeah.
How bad is Russell Westbrook?
I don't want to call him bad. I want to be more positive. I think he's just a bit of a lost soul right now.
Lost soul is not nicer. Sorry.
He's a man born without a soul.
That's a nice thing to say.
You know what? He's playing for the Wiz right now. There's just been a lot of, strife in Washington right now and on all different levels. I think give him another season. He'll be back.
Okay. Dexter. Is Russell Westbrook the MVP of the 2021 season?
Hell yes, Uncle Westbrook. This was my prediction at the beginning of the season. I'm sticking with it. They've only played 25% of the games. Let's go, Westbrook. We got so much time.
Is that really your prediction? Was it?
Dexter, your energy is really growing on me. Like, I'm so down. Like, I feel like you're going to be like, Thunder, championship, stop me. But, Graham, what makes the world go round?
Why do I get these kind of questions?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Just say Westbrook.
Hope makes the world go round, which is why, and I really believe this. I'm buying Uta stock right now.
Okay.
That guy, he
looks
big.
good.
He's
Does look
big.
good.
He's got skills. He just needs a chance. He needs confidence. I'm telling you, in a couple years, he's good. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, quick side note, Nurse doesn't usually elaborate, but when Utah had his first big game, he was like, oh yeah, you look, because everyone was talking about his defense. He's like, yeah, and he's allowed to play because of his defense, but he's good on offense. Trust me.
He's
so I was
tall.
like, oh.
There's all these guys that are good that come in, they're like, okay, whatever, but he's tall.
Yeah,
You
helps.
know what I mean? It helps.
Tall Asians. They're like unicorns.
I assumed he was Mongolian or something, and then
He's pretty much 8 feet to us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Matt,
Yeah.
this is the last question before the all play.
Oh dear.
How detrimental to the sport is it for Shaq to have a platform on TNT?
Detrimental, eh?
You're
Are people pissed?
If you're wondering, he recently had a really weird trying to be Donovan Mitchell Donovan Mitchell's dad moment on
It was
TNT.
weird.
He was like, "You had a bad game," and Donovan's like, "Okay." He's like, "I wanted you to hear that, son." And he's like, "Why'd you call me son?" No, but it was weird.
No, I think you just gotta. Shaq is gonna give you some good comedy.
Okay.
He's good for it.
So good Shaq with the bad Shaq. Fair enough.
Good Shaq with a bad Shaq.
Okay, this is a bit of an all play here. So here we go. So Dexter, I'm going to start with you. What's one thing that each Raptors starter needs to do more of / less of? So we're going to go through it quick. But I'll go through the starters one at a time. Dexter, what does Baines need to do more of?
Oh, everything.
Graham, what is?
I think he needs to post up. And his defensive position is very bad. Everyone just gets in the lane. Like the game yesterday, Brook Lopez scored like 1,000 points in the paint. So just his defensive position. He jumps straight up, which is good, but just where he needs to be. And post up, man. Like you're big and strong.
Graham, what does Aaron Baines need to do less of?
Play.
Matt, what does Pascal need to do more of?
God, pick one thing. I'd say like he needs to be that guy down the stretch that does the clutch shot.
Dexter, what does Pascal need to do less of?
Oh man, I'm dizzy just thinking about it. All those spin moves, man.
Okay, spin.
I'll give you
Graham.
props for that. That was good.
Graham, what does OG need to do more of?
He just needs to play with confidence because he's got the skills. The guy he's a good player. He's better than a 3-and-D player. I think he needs to slash more is what he needs to do. How about
Matt,
that?
sorry.
That's it.
Matt, OG less of.
OG needs to. What he needs to do less is play games with contacts. As I said before, he needs to get a signature goggle,
Yes.
prescription goggle,
Yes.
and move forward with that for the rest of his career.
I'm not even being sarcastic. I agree with you, and I've said that to myself in my head before.
It's probably in the back of his mind, like if he's going to lose it sometimes mid-shot.
Yeah.
Dexter, Fred, more of.
Pick and pops. Not pick and rolls with Baines, but pick and pops. I think if he spreads the floor more, you'll get more open shots.
Graham, less of. For Fred.
who again?
Fred, sorry.
Oh.
Less of.
Just pull up threes. I think he takes a lot of those, and it's,
Well, a lot of those like Guile from Street Fighter Moon kicks.
yeah.
Weird comparison on my part.
No, I get it.
Matt. We got Kyle Lowry yet?
I think so.
Kyle Lowry, more of.
I want some more smiles that are in that court. It looks like Kyle he's not having as much fun as we've seen him in the past. He needs to show a little more enjoyment, and it's going to rub off on Aaron Baines, mate.
Dexter, Kyle Lowry, less of.
He's so old. Stop taking charges. Your body's not going to get used to it. Just stop
Very
taking charges. It's okay.
That's
Play
just
defense.
just to keep things even, I'll throw in one more person. We'll do Nick Nurse. Graham, what does Nick Nurse need to do more of?
He needs to adapt more and not get entrenched in what worked last year.
Totally agree. Matt, what does Nick Nurse need to do less of? Fisherman friends?
Yeah, I was actually going to say Fisherman's Friends because they have been proven to be an addictive substance, and I think that if
Cheers,
you have
thank you.
too many of them,
Yeah, sweet. So the Fisherman friends, people are going to come after the pod now. Great.
he takes it in liquid form. Apparently now he doesn't do a lozenge anymore.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he
God.
just shoots up with the
He's just
fishers.
It's a
drinking
gateway. It's a
Canadian
gateway.
lean. It's just Canadian lean now. Is Fisherman's Friend.
Canadian lean. Guys, that's it. We made it to the end of the pod. This was a great one. Thank you both so much. Dexter, I'll go to you first. But below the hardwood, yeah, where can people find like your pod and you're a basketball writer too?
Yeah. I wrote for TSN, like one article, but
Oh, yeah.
find us.
Hey, I didn't tell her.
Net. Sorry. We are press.net, below the hardwood, BTH on NBA. You can find me living my Dex life. Don't forget the Triple OG on the IG, TikTok, and Twitter. And I forgot to say hi, Nikki.
That was the coolest plug by far ever on the pod.
Oh yeah, well buckle up, get ready for this.
Oh shit, here comes Graham.
Holy shit.
Graham, if you don't have yours down like that, that's okay. But what's up? I mean, you got a ton of stuff going on. What's up?
Oh man, I got a ton of stuff going on. Make a lot of money, have a lot of sex. It's pretty sick. You can find me at InstagramK. Get it? Instagram. That's fun. That's a fun little play of words I did there. InstagramK. I just released yesterday a mockumentary making fun of James Harden's last few years playing for the Houston Rockets. It's a last dance type thing. It's called The Last Step Back. It's about their goal of having one final crushing early playoff exit. Which they did achieve, if you remember. But anyway, it's a cartoon. I made it. It's on my IG, InstagramK. Check it out. I think that's all I want. I want you to go to my IG. And
what about, is your website still up?
Yeah, Graham K Comedy. You can go to Graham K Comedy. I just bought the rights to GrahamK.com, so you can go there too. I mean, that's a huge upgrade.
Hey.
Nice. But
and also check out my my YouTube. I'm starting to release more stuff on YouTube. That James Harden documentary is on my YouTube. It's Graham K YouTube. Also, just so you know, this is true. I keep getting these Google alerts. I sign up for Google alerts to see what's going on with for press and stuff because I had like a special on Crave TV. Anyway, long story short, there is a rapist with my name in Australia. That's not me. I'm a good guy. I keep my hands to myself.
I love that you have to say that because you probably do. Shit.
I do, yeah. I'm a cool guy. I'm a consensual sex cool guy. You know what I mean?
If it makes you feel better, one of the most popular Google images for Freddie Rivas is a gentleman being thrown into prison and crying and all these people in his town yelling and pointing at him. So he just did something very bad too.
Bad guy.
That's not me, No. But we'll make sure to plug this video. It's hilarious. It's if anyone's ever seen Game of Zones, it's that but funnier because Graham's hilarious. I don't know if that's a crappy comparison, but it's really, really it's one of those things sorry.
Is I submitted to be a writer for Game of Zones, and I submitted that as a script. And I think it was just a little too, I don't want to say edgy, but it was a little too funny. And so.
That's fair. No, that's fair and
not
true.
Their brand, they have corporate sponsors and whatever. And I have,
totally. Yeah, you kick ass and take names and
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. That sounded like me making fun of you, but
no, I didn't.
Graham doesn't beat anybody up. Okay, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the pod. Make sure to share, subscribe, everyone. Help us out on Patreon or whatever, or don't just keep listening. We've been growing the past couple months quite a bit, so thanks for everyone who's listening. And Matt, if you feel like we're good to go, please, sir, just give me the words "okay."
Okay.
Oh, that was smooth, my boy.
It's growing on me.
Hey, watch this fucking music again.
It does feel like Graham has a tie that keeps rolling up, and we're being
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.